Hey there, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm hanging out right now at my favorite cigar spot in Ybor City with my buddy Yanko over at Tabanero Cigars. We are right across the street from Centro Ybor, and just figured we'd come here, chill out for a little bit, enjoy some coffee, maybe a cigar, see what's happening. How are you doing, man?
I think that's an awesome idea.
It's always, man. We got to live an awesome lifestyle. That's what we do.
I'm doing great. Yes, no doubt.
We got our best Tampa cigar gear, rocking it out here.
Yeah.
So, what is the story? I know you've been here since 2007. So, how has it evolved since getting rolling? I know you got the stuff in Nicaragua. Was it always down there? Did you have stuff here?
No. The stuff in Nicaragua started recently because of the whole change around the world, and it's hard to be a passionate person and arrive to Tampa or Ybor City and not to be contagious.
Yeah.
You can see how many craft beer people, companies are.
Well, 2007, we didn't have any. What craft did we have here? We only had a few places.
Well, 2007 was the first try.
Yeah.
I did it completely opposite. Some people told me, why don't you open an Ybor? Why don't you open an Ybor? And I went and opened in Kennedy Boulevard.
Okay.
So I failed. There was also the crash of 2008.
Yeah.
So I
started
in the wrong time. I asked myself, why was it that I didn't give up? I said, you know what, this is not going to work. But I guess I found some purpose into the industry right here in Tampa.
What were you doing before this?
I was when I came from Cuba. I was in Miami, little Cuba. It's an extension of Cuba, and I was in construction. I used to have a aluminum business, rain gutters, aluminum roofing.
Oh, nice.
But it was just chasing money.
Yeah.
And it was hard work, a lot of sun,
sure.
and eventually when you're doing okay, you go, for how long?
How long is it going to be there?
How long can I keep it like this? I'm frying on the sun. So I came to Tampa in 2003. 2003, and I started a restaurant, El Puerto Argentinian Grill.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
nice.
That was my restaurant. And well, who knows? How would I know that opening a restaurant here, my last entrepreneurship, chasing money?
Yeah,
I fall in love with the industry because walking Ybor,
nice.
So many cigars. And that's when I said, you know what, if the restaurant doesn't work, I'm going to go into cigars. So the first try, it was on Kennedy Boulevard. And I failed, but I had the opportunity to work with a cigar roller. See the cigar roller making cigars, and I said, wow, this is pretty interesting. It's a handmade product. There's a lot of passion into it. So I shut down on Kennedy. And then I reopened again an operation on 2010, December 2010, in Ybor City.
Nice. And I know you had more rolling going on here before.
Oh yeah.
A lot more rolling going on. Mm-hmm. So that's all. Everything's been evolving. It looks like our coffee's coming. Can't wait.
Yeah.
I got decaf because I've had the regular coffee before, and I was up for and I am not I don't do well with caffeine. So my goodness, if you like a strong coffee, this is the spot.
All right.
Oh boy.
That's a decaf? All right.
This is decaf. Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, don't get confused. That's the decaf.
If I don't, I'm calling you later. I'm calling you before I fall asleep. I'm still sitting awake. Cheers, sir.
Cheers, my friend.
Thanks for having me. Yum. Oh, that's good. Man. Oh, awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
So it's so exciting to be able to just work on, you always hear people, and especially now more so than before, people working on their passion projects and what they love.
It's become a thing.
It's definitely become a thing. It's going to be interesting, how people really start pivoting into that don't get the learning experience. It's like everyone's now in a space where they're try to figure it out. So how many people are going to have figuring it out to fail before they go back into the workforce where...
Yep.
You're
right. Well, I do a lot of reflecting on that. Sometimes when you employ someone and you see they have some potential, they forget that you've been in it 10 years.
The plumber who's like, why am I not making as much money as we're billing? It's there's a business that's happening behind the scenes here.
So they go and venture on their own, and they don't realize that it's not as easy as simple as some other people make it seem, you know.
Oh man.
It's like when customers come in and they see the cigar roller making cigars, they go, "Wow, he makes it look so easy." And I kind of go, "Well, he makes it look simple, and things look simple after repetitions of many years."
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all of the times, and listen, I'm definitely guilty. I think as any entrepreneur is, when you're looking at the day where it's like, you know, things aren't going the way you want it to go, and you're just like, man, and you have a friend who's like, they're making great money, they've got their job, they got their security. You're like, listen, you just went away last week for your little mini vacation. I'm going away for a week. Like, I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to call somebody. Like, all of these additional things that are the freedoms and the benefits of the entrepreneurial life. Like, once you get it going and figuring it out.
Yeah.
I
No
mean,
doubt.
I'm an unemployable person, so it's
No doubt. Yeah.
tricky
You're right.
things.
Yeah.
But man, oh man. So moving along, 2010 started banging it out here in Ybor. This whole space has evolved. You know, the coffee, as it's been the same roasters the whole time.
No, we started with one of my favorite brands, and then your customers, they start when you are honest about what you do, unconscious you transmit your passion.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. If you're even trying to fake it, people will pick it up right away. So even a customer, they keep asking me, well, you make the cigars here, you're all about Tampa, why don't you do your coffee here too? I said, well, I tried 2 different roasters, and it didn't get to where I want my coffee to be. So a good customer said, why don't you go and talk to Naviera Coffee Mill? I said, I did 4 years ago when the old man was alive. I really respect that gentleman. And I understand. He was in a level of his life that he didn't want any more headaches.
Yeah.
He had enough customers.
It's working the way it's going. I'm good.
But when his son take over, Donnie Fernandez, he was amazing. He said, no, I would jump with you. How many pounds are you moving in a month? I said, I think I'm around 200, 250 pounds a month between online sales,
Oh, nice.
He said, I can do your blend. And it was a beautiful story because I said, I'm so little.
Yeah.
Are you gonna spend the time with me?
Yeah.
So let's do it. He said that to make sense for him, he needs to roast 500 pounds a month for a customer. So I said, okay. He said, I'm willing to roast your 500 pounds and divide it in 2 months. I said, let's do it. So he did 4 tests looking into find my palate. And I said, this is what I'm using, but it's a little bit on the bitter side. Can we get the same amount of caffeine? When you drink the coffee, wow! Can we get that with no bitterness? Or I said, I got it. So we tried the first one, second, no. And then he invited me to his roaster. He gave me the tour. And then we sit down again. We tried 4 different coffees again, 5. And number 3, when I was making my notes, I said,
Nice.
Number 3.
Nice.
In my mind, and I looked at Karen, and Karen said, and then when we finished, he said, okay, let me get my notepad.
Yeah.
And he said, is this your blend? And it said number 3.
Nice.
So he knew what I was looking for. So we've been doing good business. A lot of his customers, they come here and they drink the coffee. They go, who's roasting your coffee? And I go, Naviera. He said, no, Naviera doesn't make this coffee.
Yeah.
I have tried them all. I said, well, it's my palate.
Yeah.
I said, this is the one.
That's the blend. That's so great. I didn't know that they did the white labels. We went down a white labeling with a beer, awesome beer, before we knew how convoluted distribution space was. So we placed it like 50 barrels for us. We sold them all, and we're like, yeah, we don't need to do this again. Like that
it was
didn't
an
work.
experience.
It was an experience, a learning experience, and my goodness, like the distribution side, which you don't have with coffee. There's no lockup on distribution and who can buy what and where you can get it from. Like that might be an avenue that we might. Awesome coffee.
Yeah.
Again, but it's what you're excited about and passionate about, and that's what comes through. I mean, like it would be inauthentic for us for me to start doing anything with coffee. Like I don't have a palate for coffee. This is lovely. If you gave me another cup of coffee, I side by side, I might be able to tell the difference. But
Oh,
like,
you're right.
it's going after what actually you can kind of geek out on a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
you start talking about cigars, you're a wealth of knowledge.
It has to do a lot with palate. It has to do a lot with palate. I'm reading a book from an acquaintance in the industry, and he surprised me. He said that our palate are formed and because of the years of our eating habits.
Oh yeah,
That's-
don't eat sugar for like a week and then eat something sweet, and you're just like, oh my god, this is incredible.
So I grew up in Cuba. I came when I was 15, and I can't deny it. I never got accustomed to processed food in a sense that every time I feel I'm hungry, my subconscious what I think is to go home and eat at home. My older kid is 19. When he gets hungry, he tells me, "No, Dad, when I get hungry, I think of Chick-fil-A, of this and that."
Yeah.
I'm from a different generation, different culture. I'm driving and I get hungry and my mind goes automatically home to eat whatever my wife cooked before. So in the book, it says that has helped a lot with my palate to recognize different tones on cigars, on coffee. It's hard to disguise my palate with big amounts of sugars and things like that.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting. That is really interesting. I definitely have noticed it. I've been doing a lot, with my back thing going on and all this stuff, like the clean eating. So much, like I basically just like eating for function at this point with like,
to fuel the body.
everything's anti-inflammatory, blah 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 blah, which is fine. Like I don't have a problem with it, but it's like when you do get off of that pattern, you toss something different into the mix, like the experience of the flavors. It's incredible.
It's incredible.
I mean, even the difference of like, I have a buddy who's got his grandfather's got a mango tree, and he's taking care. He's fertilizing it every year. Like he's taking care of the tree. And then we got a neighbor who just has a mango tree. They don't care. But it grows into a bajillion mangoes. And just the difference in those two, like the one from his grandfather's was a fraction of the size, but like immensely tastier. Like it was the best mango I've ever had.
Wow.
And then the mango off of another just, you can say organic. I mean, just a tree in our neighborhood, like, was blah. Because no one's tending to it. No one's doing these things. I mean, just, it's nuts, man. Flavor is a very, very crazy thing to consider, and then region to region and everything. So
And also genetics. Nick Cutro came here with his Pro Palate kit, which is to train your nose to pick up different tones on the cigars, and he does a test with some kind of chemical that for some people you put it on your tongue and it has no taste. It just tastes like paper. And for pretty sensitive palate, it's really bitter when you put it on your tongue.
Interesting.
And I remember there was 4 of us, 2 cigar rollers and another person here, and 3 guys. They said, "Oh, it's just paper," and when they put it on mine, it was pretty bitter.
Wow.
So that's how they figure that I have a pretty sensitive palate. So I was like, wow. It's also generic. So.
Man. So we got coffee, cigars have evolved from a lot more. So what was earlier on was the main bulk of the cigars that you had really coming from your space?
Well,
or how has that evolved?
when I was transitioning from the restaurant, and when I sold the restaurant, I said, I'm unemployable, like you mentioned in the beginning. I tried in the past, and it doesn't work. Not because I'm not capable to maintain a schedule or anything like that. It's just that I love the freedom to execute my own ideas.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell anybody, "Hey, you think we can implement this or this?" No.
Yeah.
I want to test it. I know I'm probably going to burn, I don't know, $100 to $1,500.
Yeah, of course.
So I said, what do I do next? And then walking Ybor, I realized that there was many cigar shops making souvenirs, making a naked cigar for you to buy and take it home, take it to your upstate, and say, "Oh, look, I bought this from Ybor. It's nice." When they put it in the humidor, a few months go by, a week goes by, and you don't remember that naked cigar where it came from. Because they will give you a bag with a business card, but that business card, the bag, it will be tossed. So I said, why is no one in Ybor branding Ybor? branding Tampa.
That's crazy.
And someone said, it was 2011, someone said, yeah, Arturo Fuentes. Listen, all the respect to Arturo Fuentes, an amazing family, tobacco family, but they went away from Tampa. They grew, they went to the Dominican Republic. They never left a small shop or anything in here to continue.
Of course.
So I said, you know what? There's opportunity to brand again Ybor with a cigar brand, not just a shop. When you start a shop, it can last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, but it will never transcend. Eventually, something will happen.
Yeah.
So I said, a brand, it can keep going. A brand, it can transcend. So I said, okay, let's start making cigars, but with labels. In the beginning, I used to go to Kinko's and print the labels and cut it with a slicer and add labels. But that was the beginning.
Yeah, you gotta
know?
just do what you gotta do.
And it has evolved to a point that when customers approach the display, they can't believe that those packaged cigars were made here. They said, no, this looks like big branding. I said, oh, I'm proud of what I do.
Yeah.
I'm proud of Tampa. Tampa is awesome.
Yeah.
So I want to brand Tampa. Oh, okay. And even my designer said, you shouldn't do everything about Tampa, because when cigars go to another region, another area, people is not going to know what Tampa is. I said, well, okay.
That's the point. You know?
To me, it makes sense.
Yeah. But that's just the point of it, you know. That's part of your objective of putting Tampa, putting Ybor on the map, part of the branding side of it. You know, I mean, that was kind of even the concept that we were trying to do with the beer side was, you know, it was awesome beer, but when we had it over here, we used the Ybor side. So it was like awesome beer, Ybor City. So like Ybor had its own beer, Clearwater had its own draft kind of thing.
Yep.
And in the beer side of things, in contrast, it's just like we got 100 different breweries.
Yep.
Like there was plenty of local
Yep.
stuff already, so we weren't satisfying that need. But in the cigar space, I mean, when you get cigars, and if you're in a different state and you see, that's the Tampa cigar, it's going to mean something. You know, building that credibility for the industry, for our community, for everything. That's so cool.
For many years, J.C. Newman, they should have done machine-made cigars. The new breed, you know, the newer generation, his son, Drew Newman, he came up with the idea of starting it to do handmade cigars in their factory. Yeah. I would like to believe that somehow we were a little bit of inspiration.
Yeah.
They said, well, before it was just stores making cigars. Yanko's been branding Tampa for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So they started, I think, a couple of years with 2 cigar rollers making handmade cigars in their factory. This is different to beer because there's a lot more information available to make beer. When it comes to cigar, try to find something about cigars.
Yeah. Like
it's impossible, and I understand why, because we are a really small group who enjoy.
It doesn't seem attainable either. I mean, like I can get my own little home brew kit. I'm sure there's something online where I could be like, send me my own little cigar rolling kit, and it's going to send me a little pack of tobacco. If that's even legal, I don't know.
No,
like,
it
whatever.
exists. It exists, but the whole thing is training someone to make cigars. It is extremely difficult and costly because you can, with how much can you test a batch of beer? With how much money? What?
$30, $50? Yeah.
Well, to learn how to roll cigars, you need to spend at least 3 months with 1 or 2 pounds of tobacco daily, and they're like $30.
Yeah.
So
you're learning. You're spending some money to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not just a little hobby thing. And then I think some of the misconception, I mean, you go to weddings and things like that, and they have a cigar roller there, and everybody's like, oh, this is so great. It's like, you guys realize we can't smoke these there, right? And like the people who hire them are like, really? It's like, no one told you this before. It's like, they brought all those cigars we're going to smoke, and they're just like a novelty to sit there, which is fun, but...
Memorabilia, you know, something to remember. That I had a cigar roll at my wedding. Wow, nice.
Here's the cigars that they rolled. We could finally smoke them.
Yeah.
Man. So what, over all of the courses of changes and stuff, like now you got this cool operation. I'm excited to put a little B-roll in of the Nicaragua side of things, which just sounds really interesting. Like what was the setup of it? I mean, that doesn't seem like that's an overnight kind of a thing.
No. I've been going to Nicaragua since 2014, every year.
Wow.
And in the beginning, my wife, my team members here who ask me, "What are you going to Nicaragua?" I said, "Well, I don't know. The industry is right now in Nicaragua. Nicaragua has taken things to another level, better than Cuba, better than the Dominican Republic. So I don't see myself doing anything else for the rest of my life. So something is telling me, go to Nicaragua. Go to Nicaragua. Eventually, you will find out why." And I do a lot of things like that. I just follow my gut.
Yeah.
And then I ask myself when I buy the ticket or whatever, why I'm doing this? Why I'm going to this place? We'll figure it out later. Years later, I will understand why I did it. So we were at 120,000 cigars production in town.
A year.
Yeah. 4 cigar rollers, and it was already not enough for the store sales and online sales. It was not enough anymore, and it was really difficult to acquire cigar rollers. It became pretty difficult because immigration with Cuba, it got pretty tough. Pretty tough. So I said, what do? Do I stay at this size?
Yeah.
And that's it? Kind of give up of growing the brand, or I look into other venues, you know. And then to answer that question, COVID-19 hits in.
Yeah.
So before it was an idea, it was something that can happen in 5 years, or COVID-19 said, no, it's not in 5 years. You better get with the program if you want to. Because I remember when COVID hit, we were at 110,000 cigars. By the end of that year, we were already at 20,000 cigars. We had no cigar rollers. So I said, what do? Do I just try to...
Oh, this is your inventory that went... Ah, man. So you had 110,000 going in. Ah, yeah.
So with the many relationships that I was building in Nicaragua, I said, I think this is the guy. Based on... And this guy that we choose, this person that we choose, we not even met him before Nicaragua. It was introduced to us right at the end of all the journey through Nicaragua, but we knew his mentor. We knew the person that he worked for 10 years.
Nice.
He decided to part himself from, and he started his own thing. So he was right on his beginning. So I said, listen, I have this situation. I don't have it. In another 2 months, I'm not going to have any cigars. Can you help me out?
Yeah.
I can, over the phone, over video, I can tell you what is my blend, what is it I'm looking for, aiming on my blends, and see if you can help me out. And the thing is, when you're going to do business with someone in Nicaragua, depending how serious of a factor you want to do business is the amount of cigars.
Yeah.
The amount of cigars that you want to order. So I said, can you do 50,000? He said, okay, 50,000. Okay, we can do 50,000.
Small or high?
Small. 50,000 for a mid-size factor is a small. When I saw the first samples, when I saw how good of a blender he was, he even brought some things to my attention. He said, look, you're using this and this, but based on your blend, I think if we switch Esteli by Condega or Jalapa, you have a sweeter, smoke. I said, all right, well, do your thing.
Yeah. I
was impressed.
Nice.
I was impressed because of his palate. So we ended up doing 200,000 cigars.
Year one.
On 20, yeah. So I'm not giving up on Tampa in a sense that I will never stop manufacturing cigars in Tampa. That is what keeps me alive. This is my lab. There's a new trend for a new size of cigars. I don't want to fly to Nicaragua to design it. I don't want to give it to someone else. I want to design it here and feel comfortable and do 5,000 cigars and share with my customers.
Yeah.
If they say yay or nay, wow, this is going in the right direction, what a beautiful cigar, now you need more cigars. Well, we'll take that same size and blend to Nicaragua.
Yeah.
So I will never stop making cigars in here. But yes, we need Nicaragua. The other thing is, why we need to continue with the process of Nicaragua. Now our output in Nicaragua is a lot bigger. It's more than what we need at the retail.
Yeah, you said you were doing a lot more online stuff. It's been growing a lot.
So the question is, okay, what do? Do I keep storing cigars, or do I do wholesale? Do I share the product with all the retailers that they've been asking me forever?
Nice, yeah.
So now we're going to venture to do wholesale.
Nice. So you had no wholesale or anything going on before this. Everything was like you're either buying it
retail,
here,
the website,
buying it online.
Yep.
Man, that's a huge thing, man. That's so great.
We tried wholesale, I don't know, 5 years ago before we moved to 7. And it wasn't good in a sense that the person that was helping us out, the sales rep that he offered himself, for him, it was a numbers game. So he was trying to put the product everywhere.
Yeah.
So we got to 50 retailers. Our margins were not that good because the brand wasn't popular yet.
Yeah, people didn't know what it was they were getting.
So our margins were pretty short. And we even find out that some of the businesses were using us as a bait so people will come in and buy their product. We had a change of liquor stores that they were selling our cigars at cost. So people will come in and buy the liquor.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot from that.
Oh, yeah.
And I said the day that we even dare to do wholesale, it will be on my own terms.
Yeah.
And I will be the one.
Because you know even how to negotiate the terms
Yep.
of what you want to do now. You know, here's what we don't like.
And usually when people do wholesale from the beginning, they have to bend a lot their arm because all they're doing is wholesale.
Yeah.
Well, in our case, this is our business. This is our operation.
This is the marketing hub.
This is the marketing.
We have a couple of friends who have done different, going into the grocery space, and it's just like it sounds sexy. It's like, oh, we're in Publix, but you gotta if the brand itself isn't there, the amount of money that has to go into marketing. I mean, all of these different factors where you think, cool, I'm in Publix, people are gonna buy it. No one. You got 20 other varieties that are spending millions of dollars to get it out there.
People get confused. People think that Publix is going to do their homework for them.
Yeah.
No
groceries.
You got to do the homework.
Yeah, you got to be the marketing tool. It was a very cool couple that we were hanging out with in Clearwater that has some sauces, and they had gotten into some bigger retailers, and it was expanding out of the area. It was getting into some other states, and they're just like, that was the learning curve that they had. They're like, all right, we have a great team in Florida who's facilitating on-site things and tastings and this and that. They're like, well, we're in Georgia now. No one knows who we are in Georgia. We don't have a team there. We don't have quality control and all these things. It's like they pulled back immediately. They're like, yeah, this isn't going to work. And man, it's a tricky space, and to grow at the pace that's going to work for you. You had the experience before to where cool, this is what we can facilitate. Make sure it's all working well.
You just remind me that it's true. You got to do a lot of legwork in a sense that if we start putting product in all the retailers, once a year you got to pay a visit to that retailer.
Yeah.
But do an event and let the customers come in, meet you. And Rocky Patel is being so successful because he's a 365-day person. He's all over the country visiting retailers and shaking people's hands. It's not just placing the tobacco, placing the cigars in a store and forget about it.
No.
So, and thank you, because you kind of remind me that we've been designing our wholesale operation through a website. Mm-hmm. So we do the first contact. I will go inside of the shop, talk to you, introduce myself, and right there I will set up the first order on her website. Mm-hmm. From there, you will get an email, a monthly email asking you how you're doing, and you don't pick up the phone, or I don't call you to find out if you need more cigars. You will receive a monthly email saying, are you okay? Yeah. Look, these things are working for us in our retail shop. Pay attention, or here we're sharing. Because that's another thing that I believe we can bring to the table. We're not just also bringing cigars. We're bringing 10 years of experience of retailing cigars. Yeah. So a lot of the tools that we are being using and they're working, we will share with the retailers too.
And the other, miscellaneous kind of random marketing tool that we have that I think works considerably well for something like this is our sports teams who are doing well just because people recognize that they're like, all right, if they see Tampa somewhere, they're like, oh, what is this? What's going on with Tampa? They're winning all these other things to where just that awareness of the area. You know? I mean, even when the Rays are doing well, there's no broadcast that says from St. Petersburg, Florida, everything is Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. You're right. You're right.
So just getting that whole brand of our community, and listen, there's a lot of companies, a lot of organizations just pushing the name out there to where this, I imagine, I know you do some stuff with the visitor bureaus. I know you had in the past, but I mean, I think just in general, this is a marketing tool for the community.
Yes, no doubt. Every time there's a convention in Tampa, doesn't matter what it is. After hours, they ask, what is Tampa known for?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Oh, cigars. Okay, let's search who can we pay a visit.
Where's the best Tampa cigars at?
And that's how I also feel compromised. I don't want people to come in here to Ybor to see what we're all about, and I'm just a strictly retail. That's why I want to keep manufacturing.
Yeah.
Because we need to represent the area, we need to represent Tampa.
And to know how many millions of visitors we have coming through buying cigars from here, to where now if they become available in their local area, like that familiarity has to get developed. But if we have and nobody's branding it,
and
it's crazy. I wouldn't have considered that nobody's really pushing that wholesale or distribution side.
There's four of us. There's Long Ash, Nica Havana, ourselves, and La Faraona. I have shared all my vendors, the label company, the designers, with everyone. Yeah. And the only one that understood the idea, it was La Faraona. Everybody else, they still don't have labels.
Yeah, that's just. So my uncle comes down and he likes them from, what was the other?
Long Ash.
Not Long Ash. The small one that's got the mojitos.
Oh, Ybor Plus. Ybor Plus.
Yeah, like he goes and he's got the one little blend that he likes there, and he gets a pack of 10 to bring back home. And
I'm sorry, I didn't mention Ybor Plus because they're not all the time making cigars, but it's still also a cigar shop,
But I mean, there's no branding, there's nothing. He gets a plastic bag with, like you said before, a card in it and some tobacco in the bottom, where he gives them to a friend comes over. Where'd you get these? I got them in Tampa. Like,
but we're in Tampa. We get many phone calls. Are you the one in the? Are you the one? I said, no, I'm the one here.
Yeah.
I have a label. Oh no, my cigars didn't have no label. I'm trying to find out what. I can't remember what store was it.
That is insanity. Just from the pure, not even from like the promotion of the community side of it, but just from your own personal brand.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, how many products do you want to put out there? It's just like, we sell thousands of coffee mugs every year that have nothing way to find out whatever we're doing. I mean, it's
sometimes I believe that they don't really believe they're going to be here for a long time. They believe their shop's only going to last like 10 years, 20 years.
They've been here for a while. Like everybody that you mentioned on the block have been here. It's not like they're new pop-ups.
I'm the newest one. I started on, well, not really. La Faraona is the newest one. And it's still they don't. Well, when we started making boxes, something that we are really proud of it. Packaging is a big issue on cigars because any company that you talk to, it makes sense that they're gonna go, well, you need boxes? Yeah, you need to do at least 1,000 boxes. And you go, 1,000 boxes for someone so small like me. And then the shipping from Dominican Republic and Nicaragua. I said, I need to get this sold. So looking over the packaging for other products, I said I can do my own boxes with a laser machine. We've been making our own boxes for 4 years already. And I talked to all my competition. Yeah. I took the box. I said, listen, it doesn't look like a real cigar box, but it's better than nothing. Yeah. And it's going to evolve little by little. Yeah. No one has took advantage that their boxes can be made right here in Tampa and Ybor, and they can order only 10.
I mean, even I feel like even saying competitors, it's such a the amount of traffic and the people are coming to buy. You probably have regulars. Each place has their regulars, but then like the tourist side of things, like they're bouncing around. Like it's like craft beer. You know, I mean, it doesn't matter how many of them are there. People want to experience. They want to go. They want to feel. They want to have that thing. So
they will tell you. They'll come through the door and they will tell you, "Hey, I'm just buying 2 or 3 because I want
to buy everywhere."
Yeah, sure. And we mentioned, there's one here. They're like, oh, okay.
Absolutely.
In the beginning, we even did a map, but the map it was, I think, 1,500 maps. So it was costly because it was a trifold. And I said, you know what?
Yeah, they're not. No one's kicking in. No one's kicking in on it.
I said,
yeah, man. Well, thanks so much for having me out. Amazing coffee.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. If you haven't been out here, we are at, what's the address? I can't find the number.
We are on the corner of 16 and 7.
16th and
right
7th.
across from Central Ybor.
Right across from Centro. Walk across the street, you'll see different times of the day the big cigar outside blowing a bunch of smoke at Tabanero Cigars. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks
for having me out.
And we made it easier by eborcigars.com.
eborcigars.com. Buy Ybor Cigars or just Ybor?
No, just eborcigars.com.
Ybor Cigars. Yeah. The best cigars, the best Tampa cigars right there.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning in.